Okay, let's talk about one of the newest Pittsburgh Steelers players, Jalen Ramsey. Obviously, the Steelers, had their blockbuster trade where they went out and got him. But what I want to discuss in this video is how good is Jalen Ramsey still? So that's what we're going to do. He actually played, over 1,000 snaps last year for the Miami Dolphins. And let's talk about just how good he was in those. So we're going to start off with this play, which I think can kind of encapsulate his career really in Miami, where this is going to be a cover 3 zone. That is where Jalen Ramsey is on this play. Okay, he's in charge of covering deep to the offense's right. Got it. Understood. Well, when this play begins, notice how you see where Jalen Ramsey is on this play. 2 Buffalo Bills eligible receivers are blocking on this one, and you see the 3 other players. They are all on the other side of the field from Jalen Ramsey. And listen, I'm not saying this was happening every time or anything like that. I'm just using it as one example to make a larger point, which is you didn't have to throw the ball in Jalen Ramsey's way a lot in Miami. There was usually other avenues that you should attack. Let's just phrase it that way. So it's hard to evaluate Ramsey on some of these reps. On this play, Allen did just, throw it underneath to get some yards that way. So, okay, again, I'm not saying that was happening every single snap or anything like that, but just that was a part of it. There were plays, though, where receivers were running in his direction. Like heading over here, you're going to see this is this is kind of a setup route, but when it's the Buffalo Bills, there is no setup route because Allen, if he sees a window, he'll take a chance no matter what the route is. So right here, this is Ramsey. You see where he is on the field. He's the one I've circled in white. You see the zone he's supposed to be covering, kind of deep outside the numbers towards the bottom of the screen. A receiver will be running a go route there. That is the quote-unquote setup route. You want to push Ramsey deep, but hey, who knows? Maybe it can get open and you can fire it that way if you want to. Well, when Allen takes the snap, he is going to run the play action, and as of right here, you just see how Ramsey is all over this, right? Staying with the player, and while this could be a bit of a danger because his back is turned away from that Bills wide receiver right here, I think he's actually okay because he knows where help is. He knows that if the Bills player does cut right now, you're going to be okay because there's help over the middle, and Ramsey just trusts that he can cut well enough to come back. Here, though, you see he actually just runs him out of bounds, too, on top of it, so that completely takes him out of the play. Ball goes elsewhere. Just good stuff here from Ramsey. And again, that's what you want as a corner, right? Someone who can just consistently cover the guy they're supposed to cover, and that's certainly what Ramsey can do. This plays a good example of that, where he's going to be going up one-on-one against Khalil Shakir. He is in the slot right here, going up against a very good slot receiver. So that's a tough matchup, right? Yes, we know that Ramsey is more of an outside guy. As an outside guy, you want to make sure you can defend deep down the field. When you're now in the slot defending a slot player, it's a different skill set. Footwork is a lot more important here. However, when this begins, you see right here, Shakir, really good move. Fakes as though he could be going to the outside, is now going to go more over the middle. But this is what Ramsey has, I think, more than anything, is, well, he has really good footwork and he has really good ball skills. I think his ability to come back after he's maybe a step out is what I like about him so much. Watch how he is able to just completely get back in position to where Allen just couldn't have made that throw. It looked like it was good. It was a good route, but Ramsey is able to come back so effectively that you just don't even want to try him. Even when it's open, you sometimes don't want to try it. Like this play, for example. So this is Keon Coleman going up against Ramsey one-on-one. You see it's just a pure one-on-one matchup right here, and it's actually going to go well for Keon Coleman. Watch, really good route, just kind of immediately cuts more in. Not a lot Ramsey could do there, right? That's a hard route to cover, and a lot of times those, the fact that there's players over the middle will prevent a team from running this route or throwing it this quickly, but Allen's a big enough guy, he can throw over the lineman, so he's going to look in this direction. And watch how this pass is dropped, and then Ramsey somehow ends up with the football. Again, really good ball skills, so even in a situation where, okay, listen, that realistically should have at least been a catch, maybe a touchdown, probably not a touchdown, but it should have been a catch in that situation and gained some yards. But it does also go to show, just again, Ramsey's great ball skills make a quarterback less likely to throw to him, even in positive potential situations. But also just like a play like this is probably the main thing that they like about Ramsey. And it's interesting because he's actually not going to be doing what you typically expect from Ramsey on a play like this, where he's going to be covering more underneath than you usually would. This is somewhat similar to what you would do in a cover 2 zone, but right here, this is a quarters coverage play. But you see, he is the one who is in charge of covering kind of around the numbers there. And there's going to be just a simple concept for the Buffalo Bills. A couple of receivers will run deeper routes that try and clear up some space, but really James Cook's going to be the guy they want to look towards. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that Cook does eventually right here. Again, is this working out great? I don't know, but it's good enough that you can try it here. Ramsey, though, is going to be the guy they want to, for the Dolphins, that they need to have come in and make a play. And watch how when his throw is made, he is able to rush in and make that immediate tackle and drives Cook all the way out of bounds on top of it. Ramsey's a physical player, but he also is able to come back in well. And for a team that plays a lot of like cover 3 zone, this is really valuable, right? When Ramsey was so good with the Rams in the Brandon Staley scheme, a big part of it was quarters coverage and being an outside corner, being able to succeed that way. It's really good stuff here from Ramsey. So ultimately, I think because again, when a veteran player gets traded at this point in their career, we've all seen it happen where it's a big deal when it happens, but they end up just not really being much of a player anymore. That is not the case with Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is very much still a very effective player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a very effective player at least last year for the Dolphins, and he's still relatively young enough that I wouldn't expect him to fall off right away. And while ultimately, again, it seems like I'm actually kind of surprised at how much the narrative has been that this is a bad move by the Steelers, or they gave up way too much. I've heard people say both teams got worse with this, which that can happen, right? Someone has to get better. Jonnu Smith, I think, is very much a key part of this. They like him a lot as well. But ultimately, I just think in part they trust that they want to have good corners. That's what they're trying to get here. They're trying to have good corners. And they trust that they can get, good enough safety play if they can do that. They added Darius Slay, who, again, Darius Slay's 34. He's much older than Ramsey, but they're relying on that being someone who can come in and help fill out this secondary. And I do think that if you can have two really good corners, that can make everything else just look better. The thing about a safety is, while safety is very important, you can find safeties that can come in and play well, right? What you have a harder time doing is finding a corner who can come in and play well. It's difficult, tougher to find, which is why they're more valuable. Now, granted, given the fact that you have a 41-year-old quarterback, I'm sure they would have rather just kept both guys, but then the Dolphins would have said no, so they had to figure something else out, right? So that's kind of what happened. But yeah, very interesting situation. But again, figured I'd make a film study, talk about Ramsey. Those are my thoughts on him and also the trade a little bit. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.